Hey guys, welcome to Travel Feels and welcome to TF Feedback. Sorry I haven't done one of these for quite a while. I don't even remember the last time I did one. It's just been crazy busy with the baby and family stuff. An update for you guys, I got projectile vomited on for the first time. Not once, but twice in one night. But I have been watching your guys' films and I'm gonna try to fix this and make some more Feedback Fridays like this one right here. And as always, if you want your film to be reviewed, make sure to submit it on Twitter only. Follow me on Twitter, tag me in the post, and use the hashtag TFFeedback, and I'll go through those. And I'm gonna try to choose a few of them every week and do some sort of Feedback Friday video. Alright, so today we're gonna talk about the most important thing in filmmaking, and that's of course storytelling. Storytelling is a bittersweet pill, I find. Storytelling is sweet because anybody can tell a story. It doesn't matter where you are, how much filmmaking skills you have, doesn't matter what equipment you have, everybody can tell a story. We do it all the time when we're talking to each other. We're all storytellers and there's stories all around us. So that's the sweet part of it. The bitter part is that most of us forget how to tell a story. I don't know what happens, but as soon as we start making videos, sometimes we just forget about the story or we don't understand how to put a story into a video. The number one reason why I get super bored watching a video is because there's no story to it. And story is hard sometimes because it's kind of vague. For example, if you're doing a travel film, how do you tell story in a travel film? What are you supposed to do? But at the same time, we completely overthink story. It's actually a lot simpler than we think. All you really need to do is ask one question. What was the video about? If you can't answer that question, either the story was too confusing or there was no story and it was just visuals, then you have a big problem. I always say story is king, but nobody's gonna care about your amazing story if your visuals suck. Or more importantly, if your visuals don't match the story. So we absolutely need story, that's so key, but we also need visuals and sound that match that story or help build it. So yeah, story is king, but if your visuals suck, then nobody's gonna watch your video. Alright, so the first video we're gonna be talking about today is called Stay With You, San Francisco, California, and it's by Josh Yee. Super cool video, lots of really nice visuals. I love the slow pushes and pulls. It really just helps to hold my attention and keep me interested in the video. Some of these shots are probably my favorite shots that I've seen in any of these videos that have been submitted. For example, this one, I love the layers, I love how it's moving. And this one too, with all the nice frames, it's really nice. But when I watched this video and I asked myself, what is this video about? I have no idea. Maybe it's about San Francisco, but it's not really showing San Francisco, it's just showing these two people. And how do they get there? What are they doing? Why do their outfits change? Is this multiple days? What's going on here? So this is a prime example of really great visuals, but where is the storytelling? And that could have easily been fixed with some context, maybe a voiceover or some text, or just telling more story through the visuals. For example, showing the couple getting to the place or the reason why they're there. Right now, they just kind of seem to be hanging out and not doing anything. Or if this video is about San Francisco, then show San Francisco more and show the characters interacting with San Francisco instead of just the characters kind of just hanging out. So amazing visuals, I really like this video, but I do think a lot of the story is missing. And when I ask myself, what is this video about? I can't actually answer that question. But great job, just focus on storytelling now. You have the visuals down, use those visuals to tell story. Next we have a video called Summer in Joburg. It's by the channel Lucas Trap, and it's a really cool video talking about Johannesburg. I think they're talking about Johannesburg, right? Joburg, Johannesburg? I think. I actually watched this whole video through pretty easily because of the voiceover. There's really good storytelling going on. The voiceover is talking about Johannesburg, how it started out, and the reasons why it's such a cool place, and it actually made me want to visit Johannesburg just listening to it. But I feel like the visuals didn't match that story that was being told. There's a lot of talk about adventure and youth, and I feel like the visuals and the music were just not keeping up with that storyline. Great example of this is when you're talking about adventure and youth, and then you end up in a cafe, and I don't know about you, but for me, a cafe doesn't signal adventure. Unless you're Peter, it might. But for me, adventure is not in a cafe, so for these parts, I would have gotten some friends together and just hang out by a fire or go hiking or swimming or whatever, something that's really just fun and exciting. Even just hanging out in the city in some cool spots and just getting laughter and that kind of stuff, showing that youth, showing that adventure, exploring around. So here we have a great example of really good storytelling, but the visuals just aren't matching that story. Great video overall, really liked it. Work on the visuals to match that storytelling. And now for the pick of the day, it's called We Love You New Zealand by Level Set Films. So this film isn't necessarily the kind of film that I would make, and it's not even the kind of film that I would usually pick for the pick of the day, but I think it does a really good job of matching storytelling and visuals. Just listen to the start.
It's the environment. We need to keep it like how it looks. New Zealand's clearly special.
Okay, that wasn't super exciting, but it's actually really important. It tells us a lot about our story. Right away, we know that this is one of our characters or the main character. We know we're in New Zealand, and we know what the video is about. It's about how special New Zealand is. So right away, the story is clear, and then we continue, and those visuals just build on that story. We're seeing all these cool spots, and we're seeing why New Zealand is so special to these people. Lots of really cool shots. The song just works really well, and also there's these cool little mini stories within the big story. So for example, this camping one, you see the camping sign, you see the van, you see them cooking food, you see where they're sleeping, and that's all part of the bigger narrative of why New Zealand is so special. This is storytelling. There's a clear story and the visuals match that story. Notice how little talking was actually needed to communicate the story, and I bet this even happened by accident, but they realized that this is a really good way to start the film and that it tells the story right away. My only criticism is that I'm pretty sure you saw some amazing landscapes and I didn't see too much of that epic New Zealand landscape, so I feel like you could have shown some wides instead of just showing those cool detailed tight shots. But that's just nitpicking. I think this was a really great film. Thanks so much for submitting and keep telling those stories. So there we have it, 3 great videos that we can use to understand storytelling and visuals a little bit better and how they work together. So remember, story is king, but nobody cares about your amazing story if your visuals suck. You need those visuals to prove your story. And if you want feedback on your films, make sure to submit it on Twitter, nowhere else. I'm not taking submissions on Facebook or Instagram or anywhere else. Those get ignored, but the Twitter ones, I'm going through them all. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching this episode of TF Feedback. I hope you learned something. Guys, enjoy the filmmaking process and go get some of those travel feels.